A lot of us didn't sleep well.
You're leaving out the high kids.
And then it was really positive. It was really positive and fun.
I really enjoyed the process this week. I thought it was exciting. I mean, there's so much we had the opportunity to look at and change in terms of the patient's perspective and in terms of how they go through. It was really exciting to see how things work on the backside and from the admitting perspective where we're so front end, being able to see how things work behind the closed, mysterious OR doors.
I think I really learned a lot. I was, like everyone else, I think really afraid when we started to make some big plans that we didn't have it together. We got over that, and it has been pretty exciting. It's stayed positive. Whenever we've been dragged down by a process, there's someone to pick us up and to encourage us, and I hope that we continue to do this.
And I know there are a lot of different ways to do things, and I'm just really impressed with the team here and the creative energy that people come up with, looking at their old processes and thinking of new ways to do it, and the balance between the visionaries and the detail people that help us bring everything into perspective it's just been very refreshing. It's been a real positive step.
Rapid process improvement was first introduced in North America in the early 1980s and was called Kaizen. The Kaizen process originated in Japan and means continuous improvement. It is what world-class companies do every day, identifying and eliminating waste in the way work is done through the power of rapid improvement, achieving dramatic results in 5 days or less. The workshop starts on Monday with a day of learn-do training. The participants learn a tool and then apply the tool immediately during the week. The subjects that are covered are tools of the global production system. The tools work in the factory, in white collar, in healthcare, in any type of industry, profit or non-profit, that must deliver a product or a service.
Eliminating adjustments and
The tools help participants eliminate waste, reduce non-value added steps and processes, and do it right away in 5 days, by Friday. In this RPIW, the participants are learning setup reduction, how to achieve quick turnaround, for example, in the operating room. The world-class target for any setup is 100 seconds. Another tool taught is continuous flow. It is taught by having the participants build a paper airplane, first in batch production, many at a time, which means more waste, and then in one-piece flow, one at a time, which translates to less waste, fewer defects, and happier customers.
We're utilizing our resources.
With all exercises, actual data generated by the team members demonstrates the benefits of working to tack time, the heartbeat of customer requirements, one-piece flow, and a pull rather than a push system. Day one is kicked off with an introduction by the senior executive, in this case the chairman and CEO, Dr. Gary Kaplan, who talks about targets and expectations for the week. Gary participated in a team all week.
If we are able to create some competitive advantage by how we do our work. And that's the leading edge of this effort for the entire medical center.
Another exercise that is part of Learn-Do training is the 7 waste exercise. Participants go out into the workshop areas and take pictures of examples of the 7 wastes. The waste of overproduction, waiting, inventory, movement, defects, transportation, and the waste of processing itself. The purpose is to see and document the opportunities for eliminating waste during the week.
And this again is another example of equipment and not having things organized and wasting a lot of time and motion trying to find what you need and get it where you want it.
The receptionist has to keep copies on hand for when the patient comes in. So the patient sits out in the waiting room and fills out a 2-sided form of all their medical history. And then they come to my desk, fill out the surgery form, and I say, guess what? Anesthesia needs this form, which is also double-sided.
Team members then complete the people product flow exercise. They physically walk the steps a person or product travels to perform the task. They determine the actual value-added and non-value-added time, the wasted time, and diagram the flow on a spaghetti chart.
Put something in the cupboard, walked back out, got the suction canister, walked back in, put the suction canisters in, walked back out.
Our aid
And as you can see from all the spaghetti and the colors, they actually left OR 8, went to the equipment room, and returned to the OR.
And then the teams put together their action plans for the week.
And then we had the orders inserted and the codes put on the order sheet and inserted. So we felt like the questionnaire, the consent, and the order sheet were the three of the four things that are the value-added part to the Blue Book.
No day of service issues as far as blood, how you have for blood work.
And then how do you get the cards? Do they
Each department
Patient population
Planning to start a HEP block on all of them.
Intensive data gathering has taken place out in the workshop areas where implementation will occur. At the end of day 2, the teams prepare their daily report out, which is a brief summary of progress thus far and how they are going to achieve the targets agreed to by Friday.
Show them what we need to move too. What we think we need to move. Show them that.
From the other room?
The kind of equipment that you think you need to move. Including it's right up here, right?
Yeah. We have 3 computer terminals. Actually, 4. We have 2 computer terminals moving from surgery pre-op, prep, and 2 from surgery pre-op. 4 printers and recliners, some dividers, which are already in surgery prep areas.
The day ends with the first daily report out.
This is what we looked like before we started. A lot of equipment, kind of all piled together, no real home for anything, just wherever there was a spot for it is where it went. And then we red tagged.
We're doubling up and wasting our time doing too many of the same steps, then trying to combine them in our new area. We are still working on that. But
Determined that walking distance wasn't appropriate because we're talking about a product, which is the Blue Book. So parts traveled is really the Blue Book, and there were 81 steps that the Blue Book would take.
Goes over here, doesn't it? She comes over, wipes these things off, and then she comes over, does something else, and she goes out. Pretty soon, another one.
At day 3, implementation continues. Here, the team of surgeons is meeting to standardize the laparoscopic case cart, the instruments, equipment, and supplies necessary to perform gallbladder surgery.
I just want to tell you which instruments I want, and then I'm going to leave. No, I think everybody in the committee is here. But this, I just want to tell you how important work this is. It seems like it'd be simple to take one little operation and have everybody agree, but this is one of the most complicated things I can possibly imagine. And it's so important because we need to simplify everything we're doing. We need to, and basically, why can't we standardize something as simple as taking a gallbladder out? So, what you guys are doing is fabulous. And the fact that they're videotaping this whole thing means we're going to show this to all other surgical groups. If this works, if we make this work, which it's got to do, then we're going to, be able to propel ourselves forward in other fronts too. So, I'm just here today to make sure you realize how important I feel this is and how important Virginia feels this is. And we're going to look forward to seeing you tomorrow when I'm going to pick out all my favorite instruments, and then Tuesday again, and then get the final report. But whatever it is, I'm going to go along with it. 100%. And that's going to be it. That's going to be our equipment. Whatever we decide on, that is it. And then if we want to add a new thing, everyone's going to have to agree. So, thanks very much.
You know,
11 people in there in 1 hour blocks.
Well, I know one thing right now. At first in the morning, we have 16 patients hit us at all as fast as we can get them into the room.
But only a certain...
Wednesday is the midpoint, and the teams are beginning to see the results of their efforts out on the floor and the power of the RPIW process.
And then this almost looks like this is kind of...
And it looks much better, and they could find things. And this has been a great improvement in our department.
And it's only Wednesday.
And it's only Wednesday, and people are already seeing the progress that we have made and we have done, and we have eliminated a lot of unused supplies and putting supplies and equipment in their proper places. It's a great move. It's history.
Anyway, preliminary stages, it's very promising. They're very cooperative, and I have a really good feeling about the success of this. The 5S, the equipment room, went very well today. We cleared out a lot of stuff. We started off at a 0, so we're about 80% complete.
Inventory today is still 150 Blue Books. Parts traveled. We did do a redesign, a future state, and we could bring the parts traveled from 81 steps down to 54. Our target still is 17, but we made progress today.
On day 4, teams continue implementation. The team responsible for reducing turnaround time in the OR travels to another partner hospital to look at turnaround in their OR. To be successful, the RPIW process requires all team members to ask why 5 times and to never say we can't. They actively continue coordination with other support elements in the organization, such as facilities, the architects, engineering, whoever is needed to make the project a success. The name of the game is working together to get the job done. On day 4, Thursday, teams begin preparing for their formal report out the next day. The report out requires all team members to agree on and document the results achieved during the week.
I want to foil the whole thing.
Did you know though?
It vibrates pretty much. Does it?
On day 5, the teams rehearse their report out and make a formal presentation to management, co-workers, and everyone who made the RPIW a success.
Basically, you answered the question why.
Patients who come into the OR and need day of service things resolved are people who are diabetic.
I think one of the best spaghetti charts of where the Blue Book goes in pre-op clinic, because they have so many checks and balances to try to get all of these defects corrected.
You know, it was chaotic. There was 3 or 4 people in and out, running around. The next person came in, got the anesthesia circuits off, took them out, came back and redid these. I don't know where I got lost somewhere, but anyway.
After the 2 days that the leadership got together, a lot of people went in skeptical, and everybody came out believing that this is the way we need to do our work. You need to know that you're fully supported by the leadership of this organization. It's all about quality, safety, reducing costs, increasing profitability so that we can thrive, and I think most importantly, a great place to work. I've never been more excited, frankly. What time is it? 3:40 on Friday. I have never been more excited or more confident, more optimistic about the future of Virginia Mason.
But now I want you to imagine 5,500 people in Virginia Mason doing this every day. And what would that be like? Some of you would say pure chaos. But I think what we're looking for is this kind of spirit throughout the organization. And then we think of ourselves as a world-class organization, but then we really will be a world-class organization. And when we meet with the clinic club next year, they want to know how this is going. In fact, after the meeting, they were saying, now tell us a little bit more about what you're doing, and how many large consulting companies did you bring in to make this happen? Who's really doing this work? So our people are doing this work. They'll want a report on this, and we will be proud to tell them how we're doing. So thank you very much. We are very proud of your work. Very impressed.